London over 200 different nationalities. It's like a microcosm of the whole world. With its mix of history, culture and good old rock and roll, it's got to be the coolest capital on earth. London!
London is one of the world's great cities, and with a population of 12 million, it's also Europe's largest capital. Divided by the River Thames, it offers a real mix of cultures: the traditional East End, the glamorous West End, Camden and the trendy North, and south of the river, Brixton, the black capital of Europe.
Arsenal, no, Angel, Russell Square, Impact Gloucester, Ravens, Acton. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. 10 stops. And pretty soon I'll have myself a bed at Tent City, cheapest place in London to stay. Camping in London.
There's now a fast train service into London from Heathrow, but the cheapest way is still by underground. Tent City may be grungy, but it's a good place to meet other backpackers.
So this is Tent City, eh? It's like walking on the set of MASH, isn't it? So how long have you been in London?
2 days.
Uh-huh. And this is the only place you've stayed?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's the story here? How much does it cost?
It's not too expensive. It's £6 per person and night.
Well, for London, I suppose. London's expensive, isn't it?
No, London is expensive. Yeah.
Well, welcome to London, I suppose. This is not the Ritz, but it should be fun. I might catch you a little bit later. Yeah, bis später.
Yeah,
Cheers. How do you find your way around?
Yeah, well, I didn't think it was too bad. I mean, we've got A to Z, though. That helps.
What's that?
Heaps. It's just like a little map book. Basically, it's got your index in the back. You look up where you need to go, and you have to get yourself an A to Z.
Yeah.
Good book.
For $10 at Tent City, backpackers are given a bed for the night, a shower, and a bus map.
Well, it's primitive, but you get what you pay for. Anyway, I just need to be horizontal. London, 2,000 years of history in one living city. It's all a bit daunting, but I want to see it all. And I've been told the best way to do it is on one of these bus tours.
London was recently dubbed the coolest city on the planet by Newsweek magazine. It's a magnet for travellers, and around 26 million visit each year. London may have a new image as the capital of cool Britannia, but most tourists still come here to see the traditional sights.
Decapitation, torture, blood and gore. In its 1,000-year history, it's been a jail, it's been a zoo. Now it houses the fabulous crown jewels. It's the Tower of London, and I've wanted to see this ever since I was a kid.
The Tower of London is probably the best known tourist attraction in this country. We have just under 3 million visitors a year, and it's one of those places which is a must to see for any visitor to this country. Well, the Tower is still a royal palace and fortress. It's one of the best known prisons in the world, and of course it's the home of the crown jewels.
So, what's going on here then?
Well, I'm a football fan, locked up.
Oh, right, you've been a bit of a hooligan, have you?
We are known as Beefeaters, but the name Beefeater is just a nickname, and nobody honestly knows where it originated. There are many stories. Some people say it came from an old Norman word, buffetier, which meant a waiter or a servant of the king. And in fact, our daily duty book is still called the Daily Wait. So it may come from that. Others will tell you it got its origin from the fact that up to the end of the 1800s, part of the salary for yeomen was actually paid in beef. Others will tell you it's because they used to steal all the cattle that fell off London Bridge. So you choose one and you're probably as right as anybody else.
I'm the assistant raven master, and I'm just about to let the birds out for the day.
Do they bite?
Yes, they do. Don't go near them. They may look a little bit placid and docile, but they're not.
Oh,
do you want to see one?
Yeah.
Right. Good boy.
Wow. So it's breakfast time?
Yeah, I'm going to feed them a bit of meat.
Ravens are always kept in the tower because legend has it that if they were ever to leave, then the monarchy would collapse.
They're a bit skittish because you were here.
Hey, Larry.
No, she's a bit
likes
skittish.
me.
She doesn't like you.
She doesn't like me. Maybe she doesn't like Australians. Maybe it's that British reserve.
Yeah, probably. Stiff up a lip.
Stiff up a beak.
We are members of the body of the Yeoman Warders of Her Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress of the Tower of London and members of the Sovereign's Bodyguard of the Yeomen of the Guard Extraordinaire. Which is why you probably call us beefeaters, because you can't remember that.
Look what I got.
The most common question asked by a tourist, believe it or not, is where are the toilets?
Most of London's tourist attractions are clustered around the city centre, and many of them are connected with its royal heritage.
Well, we're at St James's Park, Trooping of the Colour. Beautiful day, but it could change. It changes every 2 minutes, isn't it? Yeah, they've got those little capes on, though. It's sort of not as colourful as it should be, is it?
Trooping of the Colour is a birthday present to the Queen from her royal guards. It takes place every year at St James's, and the ceremony dates back over 200 years to the reign of George II.
That's the colours. That's what we came for. There she is.
The marching tunes played today have been specially chosen by the Queen herself. The East End is traditionally known as the working class area of London, homeland of the Cockneys. But it's actually made up of a rich diversity of ethnic groups.
It actually seems really appropriate going to the East End by boat. Successive waves of immigrants arrived there at the docks, and that's where I'm going. Of course, they didn't have the benefit of these maps. I know exactly where I am, I think.
There are regular ferries and tour cruises along the River Thames, and these are a great way to see London sights without the traffic jams. The Thames splits the city up in more ways than one. There is an age-old rivalry between North Londoners and South Londoners, each maintaining that their side of the river is better.
I'm just a stone's throw from the richest square mile in Europe, London's money market. But I'm not here to wheel and deal. I'm going to venture into the heart of Bangladesh, East End's Brick Lane. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Apni kemon achen?
Oh, I'm Bhalo. How do you speak Bengali?
I'm from Australia. I've got quite a few Bengali friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. Salam alaikum.
Have you been to Bangladesh?
No, not yet. But one day, inshallah.
How can I help you?
I don't know, I was going to buy some sweets, actually. They look pretty,
Oh, right.
pretty tasty.
Okay, shall we go inside then?
Yeah, cheers.
This is a Bangladeshi sweet shop. It's a very important part of the culture. Kashim bhai, ekটু ইয়ে দেন?
Barfi, huh?
Barfi. This is called barfi.
Those increases the
All right.
Cheers, mate. Ah, lovely. Yum. That's
Yeah?
good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you like it?
Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
So how long has this been a Bengali area?
Well, since 1970, people actually started coming in and got jobs there, and then brought their family, and it just went on and on. So it's a very big community now.
I always think of the East End as being, basically Cockneys.
10 years ago, there was not as much interest as it is now in the area. We get a lot of tourists coming in all the time here.
Yeah.
And they show a lot of interest. I mean, this place, particularly Brick Lane, Bangla Town, is probably one of the most popular food center, you can say. I mean, it is deprived, it is derelict, but it is. It does.
It's funky.
Yeah,
It is.
carries a history. For the last 1 year, it's being called Bangla Town.
Travellers visiting the East End can always find volunteer work helping the homeless. Since the 1980s, homelessness has been a major problem in London.
CRIP is an alcohol rehabilitation center.
How'd you find out about it?
I had done volunteer work before through my church, the Presbyterian Church.
Okay. Sure.
In the-
Okay, mate.
Just a roll. Just a roll.
Hi, Billy. How are you?
All right, mate.
Not too bad, man.
That's good.
Couldn't have built.
Yeah. Nice hot cup of tea is what you think. Yeah. Warm you up a bit.
Actually, I did it through my church at home, the Presbyterian Church. I signed up to do a year's volunteer work, and they join up with different organizations. And it was an organization here in Britain called Time for God that places people in different establishments, like such as the CRIP, who ask for volunteers.
Right.
I've also done volunteer work in Africa. I spent 2 months also through the church, which is how I knew about volunteer programs.
So do you think it's a good way to travel? It's a good way to see London?
I do. It's good because I wanted to travel through the rest of Europe, but here in London, it's a good way to be here and get to do things kind of slowly. Being volunteer workers, we don't have a lot of money, so we kind of look for the cheapest things we can find to do, but there's a million things to do. It's just a great place to be. I feel like compared to America, it's really, really safe as far as being in a city.
Yeah.
I go out here running kind of a little bit after dark. I like to run down by the river. It's really pretty. But we do get out quite a bit.
Yeah. It's not that much cheaper in London, really, is there?
No, there isn't. It's true. It's one of the most expensive places you can go, period.
I'll take £3 of these, thanks. Yeah, sure. Cheers, mate. Well, I'm in the East End, which for me has always conjured up images of Jack the Ripper, and notorious gangsters, and happy-go-lucky cheeky chappies like this fellow here. But, this has been a melting pot for centuries. 17th century, it was French Protestants coming here escaping persecution in France. In the early 1900s, there was a wave of Jewish immigrants escaping the purges in Europe. The latest wave are the Asians who are stamping this place with their own identity. It's an amazing place, and it's got its own spirit. I can feel it already. But I want to find the quintessential Cockney. Know what I mean?
This market, well, it's a hub of the East End, and it's been here ever since I can remember.
So we're in the Cockney heartland.
We sure are.
To be a real Cockney, you need to be born within the sound of Bow Bells.
The old Spice Girls.
The sad thing is, it's a thing of the past.
Round the table you must go. If I got you bent in, I'll turn your legs right up. Oh, don't give the breeze up, don't give the breeze up, breeze up, up and right.
You'll find some companies down this street. You've got to seek them. You've got to seek them out. If you just go down the Frog and Toad a little way, I'm sure you'll find a few
down the road.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Have a bit of Joe Blake on the way, you know. A bit of Rosie. Got the Rosie on the way and a bit of Joe Blake. What's it sound like? No, Joe Blake, no.
No, Joe
Blake.
Rake, steak.
No. You eat it.
Eat it.
Cake.
Cake.
Joe Blake.
Cake.
Now listen, Jonathan, I'm not letting you go until you have some... Sorry, young lady. I'm not going to let you go until you have some good old East End nosh.
Nosh, food.
Food.
Oh, yeah. Son, pie shop.
This has been here since, can't remember when, forever. You're going to love this.
Jellied eels. Not like lollies, eels.
Get it down, yeah.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay, mate, I'll start talking like that then, know what I mean? Or like me bottle.
See, it works, doesn't it?
No, how are you, girl? Actually, it's not good. That's awful. It's not even cooked.
Don't you like them?
It's raw.
Oh, you're braver than me.
You mean you don't eat it?
Never.
What are you giving it to me for?
Coming to London is the same as going to any other big city. As long as you're sensible and take the normal precautions, this is one of the safest places in the world. And it's very welcoming. You'll love it. Jonathan, you haven't experienced the East End till you've been to a real East End pub.
Is this a real East End pub?
Darling, it doesn't get any realer.
All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take these lips, I want to lose them. Won't you come and take these on? Baby, you know I'll never use them. You took the best, please come back for the rest. Why not take all of me?
From the East End, I travel back into town and to the bright lights of London's West End. Despite being old and run down, the London Underground, or Tube, is normally the quickest way to travel around. If you're planning to do a lot of travelling, then it's a good idea to buy a weekly or daily pass.
Now this is the place to be on a fine Sunday morning in London. Hyde Park. Up until the 18th century, it was overrun by highwaymen and robbers. These days, it's the perfect place for people to come and just chill out.
This is one of the greenest capitals in the world. There are 5 major parks in central London alone, and the largest of these is Hyde Park, which takes up 340 acres. It's possible to hire deck chairs here for a couple of dollars, although the attendants often don't seem to turn up at all, so it could end up costing you nothing.
I would tell them to come to the parks.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful parks.
In the summer, Hyde Park hosts a lot of events and concerts, but most people come here just to relax.
We just wanted to see about the Speaker's Corner, because today is Sunday, and hear what's going on here.
Every Sunday, the tranquility is shattered by Speaker's Corner, a century-old tradition whereby anyone can get up and argue over just about anything.
Come here often?
Yes.
So what attracted you to this little corner of the park?
Well, we're always fascinated by happenings, and we consider this a happening.
Do you know what the story is with the box?
Yes, I do believe that the reason they stand on the box is because if they're standing on the ground, then supposedly it would be an insult to the Queen.
How dare you say that?
And they would be creating a situation where they could be arrested for treason.
No.
Have you got involved in any of the arguments?
Not yet.
Oh, that's the fun of it, I think. You just throw yourself in, you know.
Does that mean to say that you should all change your doctor? It's quite possible, through inexperience, she did something a little bit what she should not have done. And I believe in playing games to the rules. I don't like cheats. I like people who play fair. So look, let's check you on. Are you stupid? Why would you want to know? You want a friend?
You just love an argument. You don't care what side you take, do you? If the World Cup goes ahead, then everyone's life is better, right?
Absolutely, brother. Hey.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Because the Australians do not play soccer, don't come to Europe and start...
78-0 in the rugby, mate. Skeleton team. Don't give me excuses. Let's talk rugby and you'll look really strong, won't you?
You're no good. You're a has-been. You are no good.
We're going to be. I know, Britain's the one behind now, not... Well, of course we're backward and we're proud of it.
I love it when white people fight against each other. So this one is almost, it looks like that France are going to play.
Well, the tube might be the quickest way to travel, but you just go down one hole and come out another one, without ever seeing what's in between.
London's double-decker buses are world famous, and although they're not the quickest way to get around, you can certainly enjoy a great view from the top.
With us. Hey, mate. Anyway, I love the buses. Costs less, you see everything, and you can jump on while it's moving. Now this should be interesting.
As the former capital of the British Empire, London's museums are crammed with treasures from all over the world. This is the most visited place in the whole of London, with 6 million people passing through its doors every year.
I found a real sanctuary from the madness of Hyde Park. This is the British Museum. It's one of the oldest museums in the world. It's one of London's most popular tourist attractions. There's over 6.5 million artefacts in here, so it's a real reminder of the power and the extent of the former British Empire. And the best thing is, it's free. These sculptures are just brilliant. They're called the Elgin marbles because they were taken from Greece in the early part of the 18th century by one Lord Elgin. Plundered, I suppose, if you like, but that's how it was in those days. Colonialists believed they could just take anything. Now, of course, there's a bit of a controversy. The Greek people want them back, and who can blame them? They're an important part of their cultural heritage. But there's two sides to the argument. You see, if they hadn't been taken in the first place, they probably wouldn't be preserved as they are today, and they wouldn't exist at all. So many people say, leave them here. I don't know what the answer is, but I know that they are just incredible. It's an awesome room, really. There's so much going on in this town, there's no way you can find out what's happening unless you've got the right information. You've got magazines like this, TNT, it's free. Time Out. 200 pages of restaurants, theatres, gigs, the lot. Or just buy a local newspaper and you get all your listings in there.
At around $20 a night, hostels are among the cheapest places to stay in London.
Hi. Have you got a bed for tonight?
I'd probably come and stay in hostels, particularly in London, because it's a lot easier to meet kids that are on the same wavelength, same trip. You always want to be in the heart of the city, part of the action. Be involved with everything, and also it'd be very inexpensive. Because the shopping is mad here, it's so good.
Thanks a lot.
If you're looking for a bit of nightlife, then Soho is the place to visit. It's London's bohemian heartland and home to its best clubs, bars and cafes.
Well, no one can argue that London isn't an expensive city. But some things are still reasonably good value, and theatre is one. I'm in the West End. This is probably the world's capital of live theatre. But you know, if you queue up on the same day as a show, you get a kind of standby deal, half-price ticket.
Good night.
Yeah, I've been having a great night, actually. It's a wild town. I'll tell you what, it's hard to find a decent cup of coffee.
You're standing right outside the best coffee in London.
Yeah?
Yeah. 60-style machine, good coffee.
Well,
unless you want a real drink.
Oh, nothing's open, mate. It's almost sunrise, you know.
No, you've got to be a Londoner.
Yeah?
You know, and then you can go and get there, you know. English breakfast with a pint, this time of the day.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, come on, we've got to do it, yeah?
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, right.
Oh, absolutely.
As a result of restrictive licensing laws, most bars and pubs in London close at 11 p.m. There are places which open much later, but they can be a bit hard to find. The Fox and Anchor back in the East End offers the chance of a drink at 7 in the morning and a traditional English breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Oh, tar. Whoa. There's a heart attack in every mouthful there. Ooh, that looks so greasy. And
It
oily,
does, doesn't it?
And cholesterol-y.
That's right.
And yummy.
This is definitely the original.
Traditional English fare.
Do you need pepper?
Now, what is this stuff?
That is black pudding.
Ugh. What is it? What's it made of?
you don't want to know.
Looks like dry blood.
It is. You really wanted to know that, didn't you? You insisted that we had to have this conversation about what was in this black pudding.
Oh, I never seen anything like it before. I mean, I've heard of black pudding. I thought it was a dessert. It's a great pub, eh?
It is, isn't it?
I mean, to find a pub at 7 o'clock in the morning, where you can have a big fry up.
And the beer, all at the same time.
Nice idea too. Can I get a pint of Guinness? Oh, lovely.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Here's to civilised England.
Cheers.
A lot of travellers from Commonwealth countries such as Australia and New Zealand end up living in London for extended periods because they can quite easily obtain work permits.
I'm from Brisbane, but don't hold it against me.
Probably one of the first things you'd do, you'd get to England, you'd end up with your 2,000 quid, as everyone has to do, end up, meet some friends, get in the pub, get on the drink, go wandering around Europe. It's 3 months, you meet some people, move into a flat.
Is this Jonathan?
Jonathan, what's his name?
G'day, mate. How are you?
You better get one of these down here.
G'day, mate. Oh, I think so.
Funnel. Yeah, shall we give him a funnel? Yeah.
Nearly every Australasian would have been working because you can't survive, especially in London where it's so much more expensive.
Yeah, I have one of these.
You smoke it or what? What's the story?
No, you drink it, you'll know.
Pour that in there.
No, I'll do it for you, don't worry about that.
No, two in there. But the reason we come to London is because there's a lot more money to be made.
Yeah, we only drink the days in the wine. Hang on, calm down, we can't pull a rod up there. That's about enough. Yep, all right, okay, it's going. You know the drill, don't you?
What's that? Just keep
Yeah,
sucking.
he'll hold it down and you just suck it.
We just come crashing in, pretty much take over their system.
Hold it down, Horse.
Hold that below this one.
Give it to.
Okay, here we go.
Ready? Yep. Ready? Too much head. Ready? Let him go. Let him go. Ready? Go.
We work hard. And
there he goes. Yo. Good shot. Yeah. Welcome to London.
Cheers. I'll drink to that.
Dingo, get up, mate. We're off to the church, bro. Let's go.
Huh?
Come on, mate, we're off to the church.
I don't want to go to church, man.
Get up.
I don't want to.
You have to, mate. You're in London now. Come on.
I'm not religious.
You don't have to be religious to go to the church, mate.
Deep in the heart of King's Cross in central London, the church is a sanctuary for thousands of travellers who make a pilgrimage here every Sunday.
I'm at the church, and these are the sinners, and we're getting crucified. Cheers, Kiwi.
Now it's on to a very different kind of dancing, the traditional English tea dance.
Well, I managed to escape the snake pit without doing too much damage, and I found refuge here in the delicate atmosphere of the Waldorf Meridian Hotel, where tea is served at 4 p.m. and guests dance in the old-fashioned way. It's really very civilised. Or should I have my look? It's better.
Tea dancing started here in 1913 and quickly became a British institution. It stopped during the Second World War because of the threat of bombing, but underwent a revival in the early 1980s.
I'm about to visit some of the most famous people on the planet. Bill Clinton's here, Saddam Hussein's here, Margaret Thatcher, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Madonna, and a whole bunch of other dummies are here under one roof. I somehow doubt they're going to speak to me, because this is Madame Tussauds Waxworks Museum, London's most popular tourist destination. Where are you from?
From Bangkok.
Oh, คนไทยหรือเปล่า อ๋อ สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
ว่ายังไง สบายดีเหรอ
สบายดีค่ะ
Believe it or not, this place attracts 2.7 million visitors a year. I think half of them are here today, actually. It's Deary. Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Something about the people being here that makes the wax figures seem somehow realer. That's nice. Well, I hope you have a good time, no?
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, you สบายนะครับ อ๋อ นี่เหมือนฝรั่งนะมีแบบไทยดีครับสวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับผม
สวัสดีค่ะ
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Where are you from?
India.
आप ये किया हाल है?
Fine है, चंगा है.
कोई बात नहीं. There he is, the inventor of Cool Britannia himself. He's got a sense of humour, he'll be cool.
Gandhi ji, number one.
Gandhi ji.
Mahatma Gandhi, yes.
Here's someone very few people in the world have ever heard of. The Australian Prime Minister John Howard. Apparently it's details perfect, even the suit, exactly where he buys his suits. Kmart.
We will fight them on the beaches.
You also know the Hindi?
I'm Janta Toda Toda here.
Very good.
Now here's a trio you don't often see in the same room together. Muammar al-Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, and Ringo Starr with a tea towel on his head.
Michael Jackson. Princess Diana. Diana. Anthony Hopkins.
So what do you think of the whole place?
Yeah, pretty good.
It's terrific.
Some are
Yeah,
good,
but
some are
not
good,
so
some are
good.
but on the whole, most of them are pretty good.
But we can't wait to get back to Australia.
I really should take a bus. But you can't come to London unless you're riding a London cab, can you? Besides, so you must have had a few funny experiences in your time, mate.
Do you want me to do that story about the German?
Well, I'm pretty new in London, so what would you recommend? I mean, where do most tourists go?
Tower Bridge and Tower of London.
So, mate, what's the best thing about being a cabbie in London?
You can play golf when you want.
No.
Shame about the Aussies, they don't tip at all.
Yeah.
Where can you go and get in a £30,000 vehicle for £1.40?
I'm heading north to Camden, considered to be one of London's trendiest areas.
Camden Town's the coolest place in the world.
She got her tongue pierced here as well.
Camden Market is the second most visited site in London, after the British Museum. It's open all week, but the best time to see the market is on a Sunday, when it really gets into full swing.
Camden Market is world famous. Every weekend, 100,000 people flock here looking for bargains in retro clothing, street fashions, and bits and pieces from all over the world. It's actually worth braving the crowds because this is a must-see for any traveller.
The fashions are like out of this world.
Camden Market is the best market in the world. Men försök!
I think Cool Britannia is just a load of publicity, but it's good to be British and I'm proud of being British.
As far as I know, London's always been cool. But in the last 5 years, the fusion of fashion, music, art and style has given rise to the term Cool Britannia. I don't know what that means or how to find it, but I know a bloke who does.
Conrad. John, I'm going to give you the inside track of some of the coolest spots in London. Come with me. So this is Camden Town's good mixer.
Looks a bit rough.
Yeah, it's a bit rough, but that's half its charm. You get a cheap pint, and the chance possibly to rub shoulders with the likes of Damon from Blur. Allegedly, he's penned out a few of his #1 hits here.
In a pub?
Yeah, in a pub, why not? So a little further down the same street, you've got Bar Vinyl. It's a place where you can buy a bowl of pasta, have a cocktail, or buy the latest in dance tunes.
You never drink while you buy your sounds.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
We wanted a picture of ourselves walking across Abbey Road. We've been to the place where John, Paul, George, and Ringo were, and we can now feel part of it.
Everything is here. Everything is part of the thing. Beatles is just a part of the thing. All the songs, the scene of the songs.
Well, here we are at West London's coolest bar, the Pharmacy, designed by Damien Hirst, international artist.
Looks more like a drugstore.
Well, funny you say that, actually. A lot of old ladies come in here thinking they get their prescriptions done here.
Yeah, well, I don't blame them. So what kind of people drink here?
Well, you know, Joan Collins, Gazza, Rod Stewart, those sort of people.
I bet it's expensive, yeah?
Well, you wouldn't get in with them jeans anyway, so forget that.
So what's this area called?
It's called Westbourne Grove.
Right.
Some people call it Westbourne Groove. You've got your Portobello Road Market here, and your Paul Smith, your Agnesby, your Tom's Delicatessen, designer furniture shop.
Very trendy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very chic, yeah, it's very nice. You can even spend a lot of money on your loved ones if you want to spend money here on your Cameron's flower stall.
No, I'm too cheap, mate. I'll buy a postcard.
It's that hotel I was telling you about, where Johnny Depp and Kate Moss stay and all the rock stars.
It's a bit pricey.
Well, it's not bad. It starts from around £100 a night.
It's all right for London.
It's not bad, yeah. Give it a go.
I'll spoil myself.
OK, mate. Have a good night.
Thanks for the tour, Connie.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Well, it seems really posh, but rooms start from around £100 a night, which is pretty good for London. Anyway, Kate Moss, Johnny Depp and lots of rock stars stay here, so it's got to be OK. Oh, yeah. I think I can handle this.
North of Camden are some of the greenest parts of London, including 800 acres of Hampstead Heath and some smaller, more secluded spots.
I'm visiting one of North London's best-kept secrets, Highgate Cemetery. Many famous people are buried here. Karl Marx, novelist George Eliot, actor Sir Ralph Richardson, but that's not the reason I've come. I've come to experience the atmosphere of a landscape which features some of the most interesting funerary architecture in the world.
Highgate Cemetery is divided into two parts. The western section can only be seen with a guided tour at weekends, but the eastern section is open every day.
So how did the whole cemetery start?
Well, you know, in the middle part of the 19th century, London's churchyards were bulging and insanitary, and there was an Act of Parliament. And Highgate was consecrated on the 20th of May, 1839. So after a great period of neglect, I imagine, and 2 world wars, the cemetery became a jungle with a forest inside, or the other way around. And we came here because local people were concerned that the cemetery had fallen into total disquietude. The gates were locked and mourners couldn't get in. So as a result of the early work we did on the landscape, which was to improve the planting and manage the neglect, it has been declared a Grade 2 star listed park. So in addition to having the most important funerary architecture in any English cemetery, it has a wonderful collection of wild plant life. It has an atmosphere of tranquility, all of which complement its essential function, which is an active burial ground where the needs of mourners have to come first. Yes, well, we, of course, can't treat the cemetery, which is an active burial ground, as a tourist attraction, nor indeed can we afford to increase our visitor base. That having been said, we love to have travellers here from all nations.
This is beautiful, this little
This
section.
is the Egyptian Avenue, sometimes rather gloomily known as the Avenue of Death. We've got something like 190 famous Victorian artists, engravers, yes, you mustn't touch, and sculptors buried here. So when we have our special tours of people who come from art groups, it's always nice to be able to mention well-known names.
So, when is the cemetery open for the general public?
Well, the cemetery as such is open 363 days a year, except during funerals, and people who have specific interests or want to come as a family group on a summer evening. So people should write or they should telephone to make quite sure that they don't intend to come on a day when there is a funeral or when for some reason the cemetery is closed.
So this is Knightsbridge. Very exclusive. And that's Harrods.
Harrods is one of the best-known department stores in the world. The boast here is that you can buy absolutely anything. This proved true in the 1980s when President Ronald Reagan ordered an elephant, and the sales assistant simply inquired, "Will that be African or Indian, sir?"
Nice building. Apparently it's a dress code, so I'm not sure if they're even going to let me in, but I'll give it a shot. Look at it, it's so classy. Check it out. See what I mean about rules and regulations.
You know, Harrods. It's Harrods, man. You know, you got to see Harrods, right?
Well, I'm going to get a suit. This is my best clothes, and I've been invited to Ascot. Mate, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a great stay.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
This is good enough for Ascot.
Oh, definitely. One of the best make in the world you can buy. Canary. Tasmanian wool.
Tasmanian?
Yes.
Oh, I'll try that on. Yeah, cheers.
You want to come through?
Yes, please. Oh, very salubrious. Look at that, eh? Belgravia, home to the Tiara set. And today, the cream of society are heading off to Royal Ascot, one of the world's great horse races. My friend George promises he'll be taking me there in style, which will be a nice change from the tube, that's for sure.
The Ascot racecourse is about 30 miles southwest of London, and the event of Royal Ascot takes place every summer in mid-June.
Well, it's beautiful countryside, isn't it?
It's beautiful around here, mate. It's just so great getting out of London.
Taking the day off work.
Taking the day off work.
What can we expect at Ascot? That's the question.
Well, Ascot is it's the premier flat race meeting of the year. I mean, horses, trainers, jockeys, they're all looking to peak today.
It's Royal Ascot, actually, isn't it?
It's Royal Ascot because it is, the racecourse itself is actually owned by the Queen, and she loves her racing.
Is it just aristocrats, or do
No.
you get bricklayers going
You
down to
get
Ascot?
everybody. I mean, that's what, as I was saying to you earlier, yeah, everybody. Racing is a great leveler.
You guys must be the most photographed girls here.
It's the first time we've been here, actually.
These are great. And what's this? Is like a a racing game.
Yes, sure.
Oh, the two of us? Yeah, it'll do a lot for my image, honestly. How about one at a time? Me and then her, and then you and me. And how about you and me? Why don't you get a picture of the two of us? I'll tell you what, why don't we all the three, us photographers, get photographed by the girls? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? You guys take the camera. We'll just three guys together. What do you reckon? You and me? Handsome? Is that handsome or what?
George, mate, where have you been? What have you been doing?
I've just been meeting people and drinking champagne. And
You've been having a good time.
It's just a party, isn't it? I don't think anyone's here for the horses.
Everybody is not here for the horses. The horses are incidental.
Oh, there she is. Yo!
Princess is here as well.
Why did you come to the barbecue? I just want a bit of fiver.
Yeah.
On number 5, Faek.
Faek is 4.5, this is 5.89.
Right, you are.
Now you keep that safe in there.
So I'm going to come back here if I win.
Yeah.
When I win. Here's wishing. So what's with these guys with the funny hand signals?
Well, what these guys do is it's rather like sort of stock market floor. If you have a big bet with a bookmaker, he probably wants to hedge some of his liabilities, i.e. he doesn't want to take the whole lot on. So if someone comes up and has a bet with him, he'll then decide whether he wants to take the whole bet or not. If he wants to lay some of it off, he'll send it back out into the ring. And so that's what they're doing. They're doing it with hand signals.
If you hadn't already noticed, Ascot is much more than a prestigious sporting event. For many of the British upper classes, it is also the social event of the season.
Cool. Big hats, champagne, high class, hoi polloi. That's Ascot. And the sun even shone. It was great.
Well, I'm back in London and heading south through a vast expanse of suburbs. Destination Brixton, the heart of London's African and Caribbean communities.
I'm Charmaine.
Hi, I'm Dee.
Jonathan,
hey.
welcome to Brixton, the motherland, the black capital of Europe. All roads lead to here. Show you everything from food to fashion. Come, let's go.
Great.
I'm 22 and I'm a Sagittarian.
I'm 22 and I'm a Leo.
And we're university students. We're on holiday at the moment.
UNL University, big up.
We're not careless. We do something.
Ambitious working black girls.
Right.
That's right.
Any self-respecting African Caribbean cook has to start off in Brixton when it comes to fruit and vegetable. As you can see, these are mangoes, and don't tell me you've never seen a mango. As you can see here,
okra,
or lady's fingers, as it's usually called in the Asian continent. What you tend to find, I mean, these are called garden eggs, okay, and they're usually made possibly like if you're making fufu, which is a traditional Ghanaian dish. You put those in it, and it just basically thickens up the soup.
There's loads of food: patties, chicken, jerk pork, if you eat pork, but I don't eat pork. Dumpling, red pea soup, ackee, saltfish. Loads of food, enough food.
And this is my favourite, definitely, plantain or plantain, depending on whether you come from Africa or the Caribbean. Yeah, exactly. And as you can see, it looks like a banana, tastes like a banana, but cooked, fried like you'd fry chips, deep fry them. Yeah. Beautiful.
How are you, mate? Hey, how's it going, bro?
Wonderful, my friend. How are you, sir?
Good.
Wonderful.
You're looking pretty busy.
Oh, absolutely.
What I'm really interested in is like Brixton. I mean, what's the attraction of Brixton?
Well, Brixton has history.
I would come to Brixton for the hair stuff, the people, just the whole atmosphere.
Do you think Brixton's a good place for tourists to come and check out?
Absolutely. If they want to see how a people live, a group of people, right? Now, Brixton's full of white people, black people, Indian people, Asian people, all sorts of people around the earth is in Brixton, right? And we all have a sort of harmony or spirit to live together, right? So everybody respects other people's culture.
Yeah, it's like a village, isn't it? It's like a
absolutely. As long as you respect Brixton, right? Yeah. And the rules of Brixton.
What are the rules?
It's to be well spoken, be polite. It's basically just being courtesy.
Have a good
You treat
vibe.
the women like women.
Cha! Gosh, man.
My gosh. Brixton is a wonderful place to be,
I
especially
agree.
Twin Barbers, especially that young man called Derek.
London. I'm not sure what to make of it. It is such a city of contrasts. On the one hand, you have this incredible sense of history and tradition. On the other, you have access to the most contemporary lifestyle on earth. I don't think one visit will do justice to this